Wow, it's doing a good job. Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to do the first look, show you how to set up for the first time, and the unboxing on this brand new Dreame L40S Ultra robot vacuum cleaner. Now this is a brand new model. I did buy this with my own money and I wasn't paid for this video. This retails for $1,400. Now it's full price right now. I suspect it'll go on sale. Now in this video, I've got everything taken out of the box. We're going to put it together, add our water solution. We're going to connect the robot to our smartphone, map our house, and then we'll do the first cleaning. Now they are coming out with 3 models. This is the L40S. There's going to be a CE and an AE version. I did buy both of those. I haven't seen much press release on this new Dreame L40S. I do love the Dreame L40 series. That's an absolute amazing robot. Now this is pretty expensive, $1,400 So let's dive in. I don't really know a whole lot about it. It's got these really cool, fancy feet that's supposed to go over thresholds. I don't know. So let's dive in and see what we're getting. So here's everything that comes in the box. We get the 2 mop pads we're going to have to install. We do get an extra dust bag. We get a brush, a power cord, a manual, and we get a little sample solution of Dreame floor cleaning solution. There's the robot. It does have LiDAR navigation. It's got these really fancy feet for going over thresholds on both sides. Here's the docking station. Here's the ramp. Let's go ahead and just install that ramp real quick. Put it on, make sure it's nice and flush. Up here we have a clean water tank and a dirty water tank. So you're gonna have to empty out the dirty water and fill up the clean water. Right here we have it already has a dust bag installed, but the robot's gonna vacuum your house, come back to the base station, and then it's gonna suck everything out of the robot into this dust bag right here. And you'll have to replace this dust bag about every 2-3 months. It does come with a concentrated floor cleaning solution tank. So we're going to put our solution here. Again, they only recommend a Dreame solution. This is just a sample. It's not enough to fill it up. You can see there's like a connection there. So make sure you push that in all the way. And then here's the door. Make sure that's in all the way. Yeah. Around back, it does come with a 3-prong cord. We got to plug it in. So this is the way, make sure you, yeah, it's right here. Make sure you plug that in. It's seated all the way. This is a power switch. Make sure that's in the down or the line position. You can install the auto water filling system. Again, it's 3-prong and it's 6 feet long. You're going to plug it into 120 volts, 60 hertz, 4.1 amps when it's collecting dust, 1,160 watts when it's heating the water. Front to back, 18 inches. Now height-wise, it's not very tall, but it's 23 inches tall, but you have to open the lid, so you need 33 inches. And you have to be able to take, yeah, see, to the top of the lid, to be able to take the tank in and out, 33 inches. Left to right, 13.5 inches. Okay, so here's the base station. It is going to fill the robot up with water. This is where it charges it. This is where it cleans the mop pads. So the robot will spin the mop pads and the water is going to shoot straight up out here. It does heat the water. Then it's going to suck it up. There's a little filter here you got to clean once in a while. It's going to suck it up into the dirty water tank. At the end of the job, it will blow hot air onto the mop pads. Now, it is able to detach and leave the mop pads at the base station. And again, here's where it auto empties the dust bin. Let's measure the robot. 13, almost 14 inches wide. Now it does have LiDAR. That's the cover for the LiDAR navigation. I really do like LiDAR. 3 3/4 inch tall. All right, let's take this foam out so that the bumper will be free now. So now the bumper is free. 3 physical buttons up here, a power button, a dock button, and a spot clean button. And again, there's a spinning LiDAR. That's going to map your house underneath here. There's the sensor on the front. I don't think it has a camera, but we'll find out. The side brush does extend into the corner. This is another sensor to let it know when it's up against the wall. This is where it charges the robot. This is a sensor that helps it back up. This is where it fills the robot's internal water tank, alignment pins. There's where it auto empties the dust bin. Let's take a look here. There is a Wi-Fi light and a Wi-Fi reset button, or it looks like a reset button there maybe. Yeah, a paper clip right there. You can reset the whole device. So pinch these tabs. This is the dust bin. So when it vacuums your house, everything's going to go into this dust bin. And then when it comes back to the docking station, everything gets sucked out. This filter here, you will have to clean this filter every couple weeks. It is reusable. So you'll rinse it with water, let it dry in the sun, and then put it back. Make sure that clicks. Now on the bottom here, they call these the Easy Leap feet. Each main wheel has an Easy Leap feet. And we're going to try to catch this in action. It says it will do a 1.57 inch threshold, a double threshold. About, if it's just one threshold, about 0.87 for a maximum of 1.57. One mop pad is able to extend out to the side. And again, it is able to extend the side brush. And it is able to lift. It can retract the side brush whenever it's in mopping, and it can lift the main brush roller up when it's mopping only to keep this from dragging in the mud or wetness. This is where it sprays water onto the mop pads. Here are the mop pads. Again, the base station is going to wash them, but you are going to have to change them out once in a while. They're just held on with Velcro. And you can also put these in your laundry. So very easy. And again, the base station can detach them and leave them back at the base station. Here's the main brush roller. This is the dual brush roller. This helps with long hairs. The pivot point's over here. It's open over here. So the long hairs are going to wrap around and be directed to the end and then get sucked into the dustbin. It does work pretty good. I've seen this brush roller on other robots. One of them's got some bristles, the other one doesn't, but they turn at the same time. Take the door, put the front feet in. It does have a carpet sensor, so it is able to lift the mop pads 10 millimeters whenever it senses carpet. And it'll also show you where the carpet is in the app. These are the cliff sensors, so it doesn't fall down your stairs. And then here's just kind of a close-up of those wheels. Never seen those before. Yeah, this wheel spins free. I'm not sure if it can lift this front wheel up or not. Okay, I've got the dock plugged in. There is a white light up here. I can't wait to test it against the L50 and the L40. We got lots of testing to do. So there's a little bit of prep work to do. Let's take the dirty water tank and the clean water tank. The clean water tank, that's for hard water deposits. That's little white thing, supposed to be good for 3 years. There is a float to let you know when it's empty. And then there is a little filter at the end of this tube. I hardly ever have to clean that. Now, if you've seen my video, I just did a great big video on floor cleaning solutions you can use. These are my top picks. Shark Vac Mop, Shark Hydro Vac. And again, I put them in the clean water tank. That way I can control the ratio. While we're waiting, get an Efferent tablet. I got a whole bunch here, but every time I empty my dirty water tank, I put one of those in there. These things will stink. Now, I like to put it in the clean water tank. That way I can kind of control. I've been going about 5-6 pumps on this Shark Vac Mop. It smells really good. You can fill up the solution tank that I showed you with this. I'm just not real sure how much it dispenses into the clean water. So you can put it in both places or just put it in the clean water tank. All right, we got the prep work done. Let's connect the robot to the app. So you can dock the robot, that'll turn it on, or press and hold the power button here. Those lights are kind of breathing. It's going to play a tune, and then we're going to grab our phone. You have to have the Dreame app. It's free to use, but you have to have a username and password to log in. Then we're going to scan this code. Okay, so we got to add a robot. You can go over, click the 3 little dots, or there may be this big thing that says scan QR code. Give it access to your camera. Okay, so I've already done the first step. The robot is turned on. Hit next. Okay, now you're going to press and hold. We're done with this. Press and hold the 2 outer buttons for 3 seconds till we hear it talk to us.
Waiting.
Okay, now let up, say I heard, hit. Okay, select your Wi-Fi. It only works on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Give it your Wi-Fi password. Then we got to connect. This is going to transmit a Wi-Fi signal, and we're going to join this Wi-Fi signal. You may have to manually join it, go into your Wi-Fi settings. It should be automatic. I'm using an iPad Air. We're going to get some green check marks here.
Robot and phone connected.
This usually doesn't take very long.
App to wait for the result.
And then I'm going to dock it here in just a second.
Successfully.
All right.
Place robot back into dock before starting task. When
3.
Start charging.
All right, so make sure we hear start charging. Doesn't move. There.
Start charging.
All right, we know we have it docked correctly now. All right, let's hit next. Give it a name, L40S Ultra, that's fine. Ooh, only 20% charge. So we'll check for an update, and then we're going to map our home. You have to agree to some privacy stuff. Now, you can always come back to these later, but mop extend, that's the side mop. Side reach, that's the main brush. I want that on, yeah. Start experience. Okay, so it's going to walk you through 3D map editing. There is an update. You don't have to do it right now. I recommend doing it. Let's hit confirm. Make backup instructions. Yeah. Okay. Turn automatic updates on. And then we're going to go from 4.3.9, 1052 to 4.3.1037. Oh, no. That's the opposite. We're going up to, the new version will be 1052. Okay. Update now. These usually don't take very long, but I do recommend doing the updates. It does, especially with Dreame, sometimes there can be some issues. I've had issues with the X50, so. This seems pretty high for what we're getting. Hot water, solution tank. I didn't see anything about a dirt detection sensor. Doesn't have a camera on the front. So $1,400. Yeah, right now at full price, it's not a buy, but we'll see. Again, this is going to come down to that threshold. But the L50 can do a 2.5-inch threshold. It's got the feet that come down like the X50, the robotic feet. They're doing things a little bit different with the L40S. Yeah, that took maybe 5 minutes. So excellent. All right, confirm. Yeah. So now we're back to the main map. We need a map before we start. So hopefully you've got enough charge. Let's do a fast map. Open up your doors. Don't follow it around. Now there's my test threshold. It says it's got a camera, it can sense thresholds. It's probably going to remove the mop pads.
Mop pads removed.
Yeah. Then it's going to undock, and this is the first time we've heard it power up. I'll get close-ups of those wheels to let us, I'm not going to follow it around right now, but to see what those wheels are actually doing. This is the coolest part. Sit back, and it's going to create a map of your home in real time, and it's pretty darn cool. I am anxious to see if it can recognize that threshold. Would be pretty cool if it went right over it right now. I'll come back to it if it does. So it did see that room. There was the threshold right there. So it must, I bet it knows it has to go back in there, but. Okay, that didn't take very long at all. You should get this pop-up. Proceed to adjustment. All right, I'm going to show you how to edit. Now, it did not go into that room that it needed to, but it will, after I tell it there's a threshold there. It's going to continuously update this map as it cleans your house. And this is a really good indication. So first of all, I want to divide. Click the room you want to divide. Take this up here. I'm going to make our world famous corner cleaning testing area. right there. And I'm also going to divide it here. And if you've got too many rooms, you can merge. Hit divide. I like that it comes in different colors. Oh yeah, I'm going to divide this room that has the threshold. I don't have to do that, but... And you can pinch and zoom. If it's a dashed line, it won't do it. It has to be solid. So take your time doing this. You can always improve it later. Now let's merge. Let's merge this and this. But this will help you, like when you set your schedule, you'll know what rooms. Now take your time naming the rooms. Hit rename. I do recommend picking these custom names, or these ones they have here, but I'm going to put the corner. You can put whatever you'd like. Hit confirm, and now it'll show up there. So again, take your time, label the rooms. You can hide rooms. I've never hid a room. Let's go back. Okay, so what I was doing there was room partition, ground environment, okay, floor material. Select a room, hit floor material. It's telling you that we'll have to go in and do another setting if you want it to clean in floor direction, but you can have it clean in the direction of your floor. My hardwood floor is going this direction, but it's actually just vinyl plank flooring, but it's going this way. And so you'll see it going you'll see it in the map. That's how you can get it. Okay, so then it will clean in that direction. But we have to tell it to do that in the app, which I'll show you that too. Carpet, I recommend fine-tuning carpet later. Let it do a whole house clean, and it's going to show you where most of the carpet is. No-go zones. These are pretty important, and you can add these later. Let's add a virtual wall. It's a line, so it won't go past this line. You can make it however big or small you'd like. I normally use these square boxes, and I do know back here, you can't put it around the dock, but back here there is some computer cables, and all robots typically struggle in this area. A no mop zone is purple, so it won't mop that area. And again, you can treat it just like you can fine tune these later. If it's mopping your carpet just a little bit, you can put one of these there. So, and you can add as many no-go zones as you'd like, kind of see where it's getting into trouble. The robot should be able to clean your entire house and make it back to the base station. If it's not, it's getting stuck somewhere, then you need to add a no-go zone. Furniture, I typically wait to do that later. Cleaning sequence, I really do like cleaning sequence. So label your rooms, divide your rooms, then do the cleaning sequence. And this is when it does a whole home clean, where do you want it to start? I want it to start with room 2. So take this and just push it up there. Then I want to do room 5. Room 5 is down here. I want it to do corner test first. And then that way it'll do it in that order. I really do like room sequence. Okay, so here we go. Virtual threshold. This is going to be pretty important to this robot. Now, there's going to be some warnings here. Don't put it where there are stairs. And you have passable and impassable, and you have ramps. The angle cannot exceed 12 inches, so if you want to make a wooden ramp, all right, hit there. Okay, so we have passable thresholds and impassable thresholds. So you can put an impassable threshold where you don't want it to go over, and you can put a ramp. But let's do the passable threshold. And again, it says don't put it down the stairs. I think it turns the cliff sensors off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. So there it is. It's green. We got to move it. It can be a little tricky. You got to use the little buttons, and then you got to turn it, zoom, put it over here, use the buttons, and then take your time with these. Yeah, right there, and hit the check mark. So we'll verify that it does that threshold. All right, go back to map editing. I'm clicking there. Curtains, this is new. It'll stay away from curtains instead of going under the curtains. That's kind of nice. I don't have any long curtains though. Multi-floor management, this is where you're going to tell it to, if you want to do, I got it in single household, but if you want to do it in multiple, go to multiple and then hit create a map. That's where it tells you how to do it. Okay. So our map is pretty well edited. I can delete it, rename it. I can rename it the first floor or the bottom floor. Let's go to settings. Let's go over the recommended settings. The three little lines up at the top. Clean history. This is where you're going to find where it's cleaned and when it's done. The number one thing I tell people to do, put it on a scheduled cleanup. So click the little plus button. I tell people, pick the start time. I do mine in the morning. And then repeat. You can do custom. So pick the days you want. Clean Genius. You can have it do your entire house in Clean Genius, or you can pick certain rooms. So you can do custom, have it mop one room one day, vacuum another room the other day. The possibilities are endless with this. But I do tell people, put it on a schedule. Carpet settings. This is really important. Vacuum. Mop raise. The robot will lift the mop pads when vacuuming carpet. Vacuum and mop. No vacuum and... Man, these words, I just can't understand them. Vacuum and mop. You want mop raise. Avoid means it's going to avoid it during cleaning. So if it senses carpet, it turns away. Ignore means it's going to mop your carpet. This is a really nice setting. Clean carpet first. I do like to turn that one on. I'm going to turn it off for right now, but turn that one on. It'll clean your carpets first. You don't have to turn it on, but before it wets the mop pads. Now, carpet boost, I'm going to leave it on. They say this one's getting really, really quiet. So it's going to increase suctions, I think, to about maximum when it senses it's on carpet, which is kind of what you want. I don't turn intensive carpet cleaning on, but I do want the side brush to rotate on carpet. Okay. Floor cleaning settings. Collision avoidance is on. Auto detachment installation of mop pads, that's on by default. I like to leave it on. Clean along floor direction. Since I told it in the map what direction my floor was going on, I got to make sure and turn that on. AI mop extend. There's the side reach. I don't do for the gap and the furniture legs. It kind of spends a lot of time around those things, but it works. And the frequency at which, how often, you got in standard, intelligence, and high frequency. I just leave it on high. Cleaning. Now this is where, when you add furniture, if you tell it there's a pet bed or a pet bowl, it's going to do some more cleaning around those areas. Dock settings. Auto detergent add, I've got that on. You can turn that off and just put your own detergent in the clean water tank. Check out my video for the ones I recommend, what cleaning solution to use. Auto wash is on. You want it to clean the mop pads whenever it goes to clean. Wash settings. So we have smart, standard, deep. Water temperature is on hot. So do you want it to figure out, they really don't tell you what it's going to do. I leave it on standard or put it on deep. Dry, 2, 3, 4, or mute. That way you'd have to turn the dryer on yourself. So just leave it on 3. Auto empty. We have standard, high frequency. I like high frequency. I don't mind it auto emptying a bunch. Clean the water. You're about once a month, you're going to have to tell it to clean the washboard base. This is where you tell it to do. You can do a start the cleaning. Language and volume, there's that. More functions. Do not disturb is on. Off-peak charging, resume is on by default, so make sure you have do not disturb on. Child lock, notification, remote control, Wi-Fi management, device maintenance is kind of, there's where you can drain the internal water tank. And that was also locate robot. It's kind of hidden right there. Accessories, this is how often, 150 hours for the filter, side brush, main brush, in the sensors, scale inhibitor. So the sensors is every 30 hours. So you got to clean the sensors and then hit reset right there. It resets the reminder. Help takes you to a web page. Device information, you can change the name, square feet. Firmware update, earlier we turned that on to auto. So looks like you can share this. Okay, it looks like it's all set. Now, where you connect it to your smart speakers is under this. This is like your home page. When you first log into the app, it's always going to come here. Then you hit go to device. Takes you to the device. If you have more than one, you can swipe. But this is where you go in and share the voice control with the different apps. Go to devices, hit enter. Okay, so I know we do it well. Let's do that room like I was telling you real quick. So I want to do a custom. Again, you should wait for it to charge and do a complete clean of your house. So let's just do that. We have this Clean Genius, confirm. You can do Clean Genius vacuum and mop, or mop after vacuum, or you can do custom, vacuum only, mop only, vacuum and mop. And then we've got 4 levels of vacuum, 32 levels of water, mop wash frequency. This is how often it's going to go back to the dock, by square feet, by time, or by room. If you don't want the bathroom, when it cleans the bathroom, if you don't want it to go from the bathroom to the kitchen and not wash the mop, you would do by room. And so, yeah. Okay, yeah, right there. And then we got the quick or standard. If we go to mop only, we should have intensive and deep mopping. So those are important. And we can pick, where does we pick how many times it goes over it? Normally there's a little 1 or 2. I don't see it. How many passes it may. Oh, that's because it's the whole house. Yeah. When you do a room, you can go 1 up to 3 cycles. Excellent. I like 3 cycles. But when you're in all, so when you want to do a room, you can do this. The order you select it is the order it's going to do it. You can do a custom, a Clean Genius. You can clean each room individually, separately. If you want to do a zone, it's going to have a little blue box. Put the blue box where you want it. And then add another one. So say the kids made a mess here. Then they made a mess here. And you can tell it how you want to clean those boxes. And it'll clean those, and you can do 1, 2, or 3 cycles in each box. So that's very nice. Let's go to room, custom, vacuum only. This is just for testing right now. Yeah, while we're testing, we might as well go up to max. This room right here. I want to see it go into that room.
Start selected room cleaning.
So it should detach the mop pads, and we should get a some kind of lifting. A little loud. I think I'll turn it down just so we can hear each other. No idea how this is going to work. Well, I got to get that threshold permanently mounted. Okay, let's see how the Dreame L40S can tackle this threshold. It's 1.5 inches, but it's in 2 steps, 0.75 plus 0.75. So it does have these special feet on the side. It can leave the mop pads back at the base station. Almost.
Unable to reach the specified area, please try to clear obstacles in the path.
I put a screw. Maybe it's still not sturdy enough. Here's what I'm testing. I have the first one's 0.75 and then this, but it says it can do a 0.87 on the first one and a 0.7 on the second one. So maybe, but it should do it. The second one's a little taller. I'll have to lower it, I guess. Okay, let's see how the Dreame L40S can do this threshold over here. Now, I've got it at 0.75 inches. It can leave the mop pads back at the base station. Now it has these special feet that it can use to go over thresholds. And there it went. Now it will start vacuuming that room. There's those feet. It should stay in that room so that it can start vacuuming. And there's the threshold that I installed on the app. That little green arrow, or green. Okay, when it's all done, it's going to come back and cross this threshold. A little hard to see those wheels, but there's those wheels it uses to go over. Has like auxiliary wheels that it uses to go over thresholds. Okay, we're going to do the corner cleaning testing area. Let's do room. I could do Clean Genius, but I'm going to do vacuum and mop standard. About 27 for wetness. Standard cleaning pattern. Let's do 3 cycles. All right. Then we're going to hit start. So the first thing it's going to do is going to wash the mop pads with warm water. And then it's going to suck the water up into the dirty water tank. And then it'll do the same process after it's done washing or mopping the floor. The mop pads the robot's spinning the mop pads. It's putting water down there. It's also filling the internal water tank up with water. That's what you hear. That's the dirty water pump you hear kicking on. Okay, it's going to undock and travel to that room and start mopping. Okay, we're going to check obstacle avoidance with that cable. We got a bunch of muddy paw prints. Now it can extend that side brush and the mop pad right up against the wall. Wow, it's doing a good job. And it can go under some furniture. And again, it has an internal water tank that's keeping those mop pads nice and wet. Now, it does not have a camera on the front. That's just a sensor to help with obstacle avoidance. Now it's going to do the perimeter of the room first, then it's going to go back and forth and make the nice straight lines because it has a LiDAR navigation. Now it could have a hard time with that cable. Yeah, it did not recognize the cable. So we'll have to get the cable out and then start it back up again.
Resume.
Let's try it on something a little bit bigger, like a shoe. So it did recognize the shoe and it is going to avoid it now. And the sensor is recognizing that shoe because it's not tall enough for the LiDAR to hit. Does get a little close to it, but it is avoiding it. Now in the app, it doesn't show the, or it does show the obstacle how it went around it. Again, it doesn't have a camera on the front though. That's just a sensor. There's the first pass on the muddy paw prints. Again, those mop pads are wet and they're going to capture the dirt. We are going to get some smearing on the first pass. Wow, it's doing a good job. Wow. That's pretty incredible. Wow. It's doing an excellent job of cleaning up this area. And again, it's vacuuming and mopping at the same time. All right, it's going to do the second cleaning now. So I like how it's going to do the perimeter of the room on the second pass first. Wow. There was a little bit left here, but not anymore. It did an amazing job. It does leave a little bit right outside the corner. It does that on both of them. I'm not sure why it, when it exits a corner, it kind of just makes a little loop. Now we know it's going to avoid this obstacle, so I'll go ahead and take this shoe out. And again, it still has to do the second pass over here. There is a little bit left. Wow. Yeah, it does a good job. Now it's going to go back up and down. The first pass was left, right. Now the second pass is going to be up, down. So it'll have a crisscross pattern. And I really do like the app where you can see in live time where it is and how much it's cleaning. That's where that mud is. It's on the second pass. There's no mud there anymore. Okay, I'm not sure I have to do the third pass. This is very, very clean. Very clean. Now, obstacle avoidance, as we saw, you know, it's just going to be okay. So it's doing the third pass. I like that even on the third pass, it's doing the edge of the room. And I can't stress enough how clean this room actually is. It is extremely clean. But it does do a little dog leg there after the corner. I'm not sure. Hopefully they'll fix that with software. But anytime it exits the corner, it does just a little dog leg. I've seen that before. Now I got in the way of it there, so that's what caused that. Now, there is no dirt detection on the docking station, so this is a pretty high price tag for no dirt detect on the base station. So let's check. See, I put some fake poop down. Let's pretend the dog came. So it recognizes it, but just gets too close. That's pretty typical with these kind of cheaper sensors. You know, it knows something's there. And it's not even giving us like an obstacle or anything. Like normally it puts like a caution flag, you know, or something, but it's not even giving us that. Again, now this isn't the best test in the world, but yeah, it's going to run dog poop over. This obstacle avoidance is going to be probably about a B-. Corner cleaning, edge cleaning, A+, vacuuming, mopping, A+. Docking station, hot water, hot air, but no dirt detection sensor. This is really odd to me why they're taking this out. I'm going to end it.
Returning to the dock to charge.
Again, I paid full price for it right now, which this is not a $1,400 robot. Because it couldn't even do that threshold like we wanted it to. Earlier I tested it on a threshold that was 1.5 inches. Wasn't able to do it, but it was able to do this 0.75. But this L50 can do a 2.5 inch threshold. It's got robotic arms. This robot has robotic feet. I'll try to show you when it's done. Here's the base station again. It's going to wash the mop pads with hot water, auto empty the dustbin, and dry them with hot air. So the base station is really good. It just doesn't have a dirt detection sensor, so when it sucks the water up into the dirty water tank, these other robots like the Mova P10 Pro, Roborock SARS, it passes through a dirt detection sensor. And if the water is dirtier than normal, it's going to tell the robot, go back and remop where you just came from. I really do like that. I don't know why they took that out. I mean, it costs more, I know, but... And again, they got 3 models just released. It's August of 2024. Dreame L40S. They had an L40 originally. I have that. I love it. This is the S. They've got the L40S CE and the L40S AE. One of them looks really, a lot of stuff removed. I think it's the CE, the mop pad swingings or extendings removed. So just a lot of, you know, they take stuff out to make it economical. So we'll get a mop washing event, and then it should auto empty too.
Start charging. Start auto empty.
And then, yeah, here's the dirty water tank, clean water tank.
Start cleaning mop pads.
Now it can detach the mop pads. It can leave the mop pads at the base station. That's a plus. There's the water being sucked up into the dirty water tank. This kind of reminds me of the Costco one I just did. Go Mop 400 from Costco. It's got that same corrugated thing there. It's a stripped down version. It hardly has any sensors but it was only $400 at Costco. So yeah, $1,300. I'll have to take a second look at that. It's got a weird name. It's Dreame. Here it is, the Dreame Go Vac 400 Costco. $400. Yeah, it's got that same, but it doesn't extend the mop pad. It robo swings. Doesn't use hot air. And yeah, it's pretty stripped down with features. Now this was the Dreame L40. It's an amazing robot. And here it is spinning the mop pads at a higher speed. Now, it did get my Just a Dad sticker seal of approval. I got to play with this some more. I do wish it did that threshold a little better. Mine was tilting up. I'm going to play around with that a little bit more. But yeah, the price point. I see at $1,400, what did I pay for this? At $1,400, it's not a buy. It's a good robot. Now, is it going to do the thresholds? I got to do some more testing. But other than that, it's doing everything that it says. Now, man, if this thing drops down to $800-900, it actually becomes a pretty good robot.
Task completed.
Maybe.
Please empty the used water tank timely.
And here's the hot air. So I'm going to have to do my spreadsheet like I did for the Roborock. Dreame's getting just as bad as Roborock. So I had to come up with this, and I got a digital whiteboard coming because this isn't, I got to be able to, so this was all the different models of Roborock, Q-Revos and stuff. I had to do this because they're getting so vast. And I'm gonna have to do the same thing with Dreame. Dreame just released 3 brand new models that are somehow gonna fit in with all the ones they have already. So hold off on purchasing it right now. Now, if you do end up purchasing, it's gonna be a good user experience. You may not get that threshold like we had wanted, but if you need thresholds, just get a Mova V50, Dreame L50, or a Dreame X50. Those are far superior with thresholds. These little wheels here, it doesn't lift the front thing. It just kind of rams up, you know, these turn. It doesn't extend these just turn to help it climb. So, not a camera, just a sensor of some sort. So in my description, I will put links to the ones that I approve of right now. This is too expensive. The Mova P10 Pro beats this one, unless I can get this threshold thing figured out. Mova P10 Pro doesn't do very big a threshold at all. Yeah, there's the X50. It's on my screen. See those little robotic arms? That's what the X50, the Mova V50, and the Dreame L50 all have. That's how you cross thresholds. that robot actually extends those. It's so cool to watch. Now, it's kind of a controlled crash when it goes over that threshold, but it does get over it. So that's on my banner on my YouTube page. So I picked up this Levant. I'm doing a video on it. It's pretty unimpressive right now, but they sold like 2,000 of them on Amazon. So for $230, I bought it. It doesn't have a carpet sensor in that, so I'll see. I'm in the early stages of reviewing it. It's the Levant M2 Pro. Here's the box. I didn't go over 19,000 pascals of suction. It does have that dual brush roller for long hairs. This is the same washboard as their standard Movas they're coming out with now. Easy leap. Well, we got to work on that. Yeah, 40 millimeter. Again, it has to be in 2 steps like they're showing, and I thought I had it, but I'll have to work on it. So again, check out my website, justadadapproved.com, where you can see all the robots that I approve of. I did buy this robot with my own money, wasn't paid for this video. Look, this is the first look, okay? A lot more to come, comparisons coming. I understand thresholds can be a problem for a lot of people. I don't have that problem at my house with thresholds, but if you do, finding a robot that can do thresholds is important. So right now, it's kind of a pass for thresholds for me right now. I got to do some more testing. The V50 and the X50, I don't see a place for this unless this is going to be super cheap. Like the Mova V50 is $1,000 right now, and it does 2.5-inch threshold real easy. I don't understand the price point on this yet, but at least it's a good robot, except for these wheels. So again, thanks everybody for watching. JustADadApproved.com. If you purchase a product off my website or my links, the product won't cost you anymore, but I do get a small commission from the sale. It's a way of helping support my channel. That way I can continue to do these reviews. Again, I bought the 2 other L40S, the CE and the AE. I just spent $2,000 on like $3,000. I forget. They're both I think it was like $2,500 for both of them. So budget's already spent, and here it is, the beginning of August. So check out, I have a big video on what solution to use. That was all because of you. I have a big video on mop pads versus rollers, 2.5 hours. I do have a short version of that, like where I just talk. So again, let me know what robots you want me to buy. I know there's lots Mova's releasing a new one. I might buy the Narwhal. My budget's really tight right now. I know Narwhal's coming out with a Flow or something. I know I need to buy it. I just have to wait probably till next month's budget or something. So again, I will definitely be buying the Mova one when it's coming out in a couple weeks. It's got a mop roller. So I will be buying that with my own money, and then I can give you my honest opinion on that. So again, I really do appreciate everybody's support. If you could, please like and subscribe, and justadadapproved.com.